I'm back to that container that we were looking at yesterday. I said I'd probably empty it today because we know it's got some little baby carrots in there, and then we can use that container for something else. So that's what I'm going to do. I also saw this container in Container Garden. It's not looking very clever. It's got a few spring onions in it, but it also ended up with some random carrot growing in there. So obviously a seed got dropped in by mistake. But it looks quite a big carrot. I think it's worth taking that out, and then we can get some of these spring onions at the same time, and then we've got a little bit extra to put in that fridge. And I think to start off, we'll be taking these lettuces out anyway. I'll just cut them off. I've cut these off before at the bottom and left them, and they've grown back. There's not actually much of a lettuce to harvest there. I think I'll leave that. We'll take this bigger one out. We know there's a couple of onions next to it. This is what I did last time. I cut them off like that, and then I just left them, and new leaves all started growing from there. So there's a couple of rough looking leaves on this one, and an onion top I've just accidentally chopped off, but that don't matter because we can use that. So stripping away a couple of rough looking leaves, there's still a couple more that could do a bit of a tidy, but we've still got a nice little bunch of lettuce there, so that'll do for starters. Pop that in its tray. Then we've got those carrots that we took up yesterday. I don't know where that's come from. There's a random tomato in there, but it's a really nice small sweet one, so we'll have that anyway. And a snail on that onion. We'll get anywhere. Just going to see if I can take these out without damaging them too much. They're not a bad spring onion, them. That's the top. I've broke off one, but we can still use bulb. And that one's got a bit oversized, but again, it's still perfectly usable. So we're getting a couple of spring onions out of this. And then there's another bunch in this corner as well, so I'll dig down with these. They'll probably come out a bit easier. Look at all them roots on such little bulbs. These have had all the tops cut off them. They've grown perfectly happy all together like that. A couple different sizes, but we'll take any size. But underneath, they're still perfectly good, nice clean spring onions. Just pull off that outer skin like we did yesterday. You can see how nice and clean they are underneath, apart from that bit of soil that's on them. But what we came for was some of these carrots. So we'll just take some of these out and have a look at what we've got from there. And they're different to the ones we pulled up yesterday. They're a bit longer, so I might have put two different varieties in here because they were two separate rows. But they'll do me, they're perfect size. So it's going to be a bit better than we thought. We're going to get even bigger carrots out of this. And they're really straight as well, that's perfect. They look very similar to those little finger carrots. I'm going to have to start and write on every container. But we're getting quite a few, so that's all I'm bothered about. Let's take up another clump. Again, nice size, perfectly straight carrots. Good size. We're doing better than I thought out of this container when we're getting carrots that big. I thought they were going to be a lot smaller. So they obviously weren't all Chantenay Royals. We had a mixture in there, and that's a good one as well. It's a good size to it. I'll move these before I bury them again. That's not a bad result for another bunch of carrots. I think carrot reveals are just as good as potato reveals. You never know what you're going to get until you pull them out. But we're happy with results like that. We're getting to some very small tops now, so we're not going to get as big a carrots out of these. They're still big enough for me. Although, having said that, that's not a bad size. And neither's that. This is what I mean by that surprise element. You think you're going to get a tiny carrot because it's not got much or a growth on top, and then when you pull it, it ends up being quite big. Last few. And again, not disappointing really. A couple of smallish ones. And that's basically as a lot for that container. But considering how much compost we used in this, that's a good result. I'll give them a quick wash. Well, I started harvesting this container with those spring onions in. Unfortunately, I forgot to press record. But we did get one or two out of there, so that's not bad. But one thing we were interested in was this carrot. Now we've got rid of most of those onions out of there, apart from this one, which I'll just quickly dig out. Another good size to that. It was this carrot that I was interested in because it's got quite a big top on it. But these containers aren't very deep, so it makes you wonder what size carrot we could have got from there. But if I clear around this hedge, look at the size of that carrot top. It's massive. So let's pull this out and see what happened with this random volunteer carrot. Well, that's a shame. I broke the end. Doesn't matter. That's basically what's just grown in that little container. It is unfortunate that I snapped it as I pulled it. But if we put that on its side, that's the level it was growing at. And that's the carrot. It's maintained the thickest part of that carrot right to the bottom of that container. And then it's just started to curl slightly, just to get a bit longer. Well, that is one big chunky carrot. And definitely a surprise at the same time that it would do that in such a small container. But I've just got one more thing that I want to collect this morning, and that's in other greenhouse. We did see the other day that we'd got a cucumber ready, and that's the biggest one that we've got. So while we're getting a little vegetable harvest, we might as well also get us a really nice sized cucumber. I think for an harvest on a couple of very small containers, we didn't do bad after that. That carrot was next level. I can't believe a carrot that thick grew in that little container, and was also trying to get as long as it possibly could. But that's brilliant. But for the sake of 10 minutes or so, that's what we've ended up with. A nice bit of fresh lettuce, a bunch of spring onions, all those carrots, and then a really good sized cucumber on top. Brilliant. And during August, that's what it's all about, taking these harvests as they come ready. And we also know that there's quite a few more things that we're going to be harvesting over the next couple of weeks, including more potato containers. So if you're interested in seeing what comes out of those, then please hit that subscribe button, press that notifications bell, and I'll see you next time. Take care.